Vidya Prakashan Mandir Private Limited.
Very good afternoon, dear students. I am Rahul Sharma from Vidya Prakashan Mandir Private Limited, and today we are here to give you some useful tips for your Term 2 examinations that are scheduled from 24th of April. And today in our program we have a senior educationist, Dr. Urmeet Kaur, who is HOD English in Meerut Public School, Meerut. She is having a rich experience of more than 25 years in teaching English. So welcome Dr. Urmeet Kaur to our program Mission CBSE Fateh.
Thanks.
So let's begin our today's program Mission CBSE Fateh with Dr. Urmeet Kaur. So now we had a survey with different students in Meerut city, and we came up with few common and important questions that we would like you to give your expert advice on that. So our first question is, what are the top 3 expert tips to secure high in the English board exam for class 10th and 12th?
Dear children, the top 3 tips which I could give to you for your CBSE Term-2 exams are practice, practice and practice. Number 1, it's very essential that you give time to your English, and that means the entire English. That includes your reading section, your writing section and your literature section. You cannot ignore any section. You need to give sufficient time to it. And then moving on to the second tip is equally important, and that is your time management. Whenever you sit down to practice, ensure that you have a clock in front of you so that you know how much time are you taking in writing your paper, as this is going to be a subjective paper and you have lost much practice in your written English. So it becomes very important that when you practice, you sit down to write and you have a clock in front of you. And then the third thing is that ensure that you write correct English. Your vocabulary, your grammar, the names of the main characters in your chapters and their correct spellings, they are equally very important. So now the 3 things what we have is you need to give time to practice your English, and when you sit down to practice, you do it with the clock so that you do it within the sufficient time. And third thing is that ensure that you write correct English. This is going to be your English paper. Your marks are equally divided. Half marks are for your content and half marks are for your expressions. So ensure that you practice in a complete manner the entire English, including reading, writing, grammar and your literature. You cannot leave anything for the last minute or say that this is unseen and so you could just leave it for the examination. No, the unseen also needs to be practiced, because the more you will practice, the more you will be able to comprehend the answers. Your reading capacity would increase. You'll be able to find out more, your vocabulary would improve. So it's the entire paper, that means the entire 40 marks paper needs to be practiced within the time. That is very essential. The more you practice, the better things are going to get.
So the expert advice, dear students, is practice, practice and practice with correct English and with time management. So these are the few important tips for your first question. The second question comes, ma'am, from the survey is, which prose or section in the English exam needs more focus?
I'll say that the entire section, the prose section, the writing section, the reading section, entire thing we need to give equal importance to. Generally, children tend to just read the summaries of the chapters and just go through the poetry, not laying much focus on the writing skills. They'll just look at the formats and not practice the unseen passages. So, entire English, the syllabus is not much. So you need to take care of the entire English. Entire English includes your unseen passages, your writing, grammar and your literature. Everything is equally important. I will not lay emphasis on any one particular thing. All are equally important.
Right, dear students, so these are the important tips that you are getting today in the program. The third question is very important now, because I used to remember in my schooling days the biography was a big task. It was really tough for us to remember. So the question comes that do the authors and poets biography is important for a term 2 exam point of view?
As far as your term 2 is concerned, we need not go into any kind of details about the biographies of the authors or the poets. We did go through them in term 1, but not in term 2. In your NCERT books, where the chapter begins, there are those few lines about the author and about the poet. That is all. That's more than sufficient. You need not Google around and go into the details about the authors, not at all. You won't get any such questions. So whatever information about the author and the poet is given to you by the NCERT, that is more than sufficient. Not to go beyond that.
So, ma'am, we can say the initial paragraph that is
Yes,
there
exactly.
in the
Yes, exactly.
chapter.
About-
It is
yes, more
it
than
is
sufficient.
more than sufficient. So, ma'am, like the exams are approaching now, and the students are really having a high anxiety level. So, the fourth question is that how should they manage the last minute anxiety, and what if the preparation does not translate into good marks?
See, dear children, one thing which I would just advise you, just remove this word anxiety from your life. There has to be no anxiety. You're sitting, we are so blessed, everything is fine with us. You have your parents at home, you have your teachers at school, and then CBSE is student friendly. The CBSE has given you sufficient time to practice. The exam, the first English paper is, class 12, it's on 13th May. We have enough time. There has to be no anxiety at all. And then anxiety comes when you have when you've not had sufficient practice, and we still have time. Divide your time, remove all these time wasting, whatever is there, wherever you most the children tend to waste their times in the social media. Just cut that out, reduce the list of your friends, and in that time just divide time for your each subject. Have sufficient breaks, eat snacks during those breaks, have some do some breathing exercises, have sufficient water. There has to be no anxiety at all. Trust me, it's going to be, you all are going to do really very well in your exam.
So, ma'am, we can say that just planning and just doing some exercises
Yes,
and cutting off time
definitely.
from other extra
Yes,
work
exactly.
can reduce the anxiety.
Definitely.
So, ma'am, the fourth question is I'm really eager to ask because you have so much superb online YouTube videos on different topics. So, do you think, ma'am, that at this stage, online classes and YouTube will really help in scoring well?
Online and YouTube classes have been a big blessing to us. They have saved us. They have been a savior, and even the children from those remote areas who did not have access to school, they too have benefited a lot through these online classes and YouTube classes. Sitting in the comfort zone of your home, and you are getting to attend a class from a teacher, and even there have been question answer rounds. Everything has gone so smoothly due to these online and YouTube classes. The technology has really helped us a lot. So do go through these online classes and the YouTube classes, and then your school teachers are always there. You can always approach them.
So the expert advice says that yes, the online classes and YouTube are really beneficial at this stage. And ma'am, last but not the least, apart from the NCERT book, which sample paper do you recommend to the students to practice?
See, sample papers I'll suggest, but then there's one thing more which I'd like to share with you is that now that almost all the schools have had their pre-boards, do exchange papers with each other so that you have an exposure to more questions. And then there are question papers even in the newspapers coming every day. So go through those question papers also, solve them, get them corrected from your subject teachers. And yes, apart from that, we do need a sample paper. And as I've been closely acquainted with max marks, so and I've gone through these papers, and they're actually very good. The only thing is that what you need to do is that right from page 1 and right till the end you need to practice it. And then they have the answer keys also, and then there's a lot of information, detailed information, so you could practice it and obviously your teachers are there. If there's anything, any doubt, you can always consult your teachers.
So students, I hope that today's program might give you some useful tips and will benefit you in your exams. And as the expert says that you need to go through the sample papers of Max Mark. So if you haven't taken the copy yet, so grab it as soon as possible from Amazon and Flipkart and from the company website as well. So all the best for your examinations, and thank you very much, ma'am, for giving your time. And with this,
My pleasure.
and wish you all the best. And with this, Rahul Sharma
Yes, exactly.
signing off. Thank you.